As Beastfang put it, this was a battle with no suspense. The great battle began and ended in less than an hour, with all 600 enemies surrendering. Taking advantage of the remaining daylight, everyone quickly cleaned up the battlefield. The siege of Hanyang City came to an end, and the entire city celebrated. Led by the elders and the Rat Witch, the city residents prepared a celebratory feast. Mutton and rice were served in abundance, enough to feed thousands of people, something the Han tribe could afford. Beastfang, as the Goose Sima, was in charge of logistics. After cleaning up the battlefield, he came to report to you. In this battle, we annihilated 621 enemy soldiers and captured 479. The rest were killed on the spot. Some of them are seriously injured, and even if they are healed, they will be disabled. We capture prisoners to make them work, so there's no need to waste medical resources. Just kill them, Beastfang reported. Hey, this efficiency, this pragmatism, I can't help but want to give him a Best Execution award. The Allied forces didn't suffer much casualties, after all. We had several people fighting one, and elite warriors charged in the front. 3 died, all reinforcements from other tribes. The remaining wounded, the most serious being fractures, can be treated, but it's hard to say if they will be disabled after recovery. But it's better than losing their lives. After dealing with the aftermath, the prisoners were locked up in the newly built warehouse. A celebratory feast? Don't even think about it. Let them starve for a few days to wear down their ferocity, making it easier to manage them later. What's this called? Winning hearts and minds. You invited the allied forces of various tribes to enter Hanyang City, gather in the city square for a meal to celebrate and discuss the rewards for their participation in the war. After all, you made promises beforehand, and you must keep your word. At the same time, it's also to attract them to join the Han tribe. After all, no one believes in empty promises. Under the organization of the elders and the Rat Witch, the residents of the Han tribe moved the long tables and benches from their homes to the square, arranging them in several rows. Not enough? Directly use wooden planks and bricks to build them. If there aren't enough benches, use buckets as substitutes. Turning them upside down on the ground can also serve as seats. This scene is simply a large-scale street stall style. Dinner party. People from various tribes had their eyes opened. Although they came to the Han tribe's market every month for trade, it was their first time entering Hanyang City. Before, they were filled with mysterious guesses and yearnings about the lives of the city residents. Now, seeing it with their own eyes, they were like Liu Grandma entering the Grandview Garden, finding everything new and fresh. Many half-grown children ran through the streets, busy helping adults move tables, chairs, bowls, and chopsticks. Behind them followed fluffy puppies, born from the herding dogs brought by Ling Feng, only a month or 2 old, Ao Wu, following behind the children, happily wagging their tails. This scene is so heartwarming that it could be made into a public service advertisement. Some older children led the foreign warriors to the well at the entrance of the alley to fetch water and wash up. Most people were covered in dust and dirt after the battle, some even splattered with blood. These foreign warriors were amazed by the way the well provided water, never expecting that digging a deep pit in the ground could yield water. Eye-opening. After washing up, some foreign warriors visited within the permitted areas. When they encountered clansmen from their own tribe, they would be invited to their homes for a look. A warrior from the Tiger tribe saw his younger sister who had married into the Han tribe. They were very happy after recognizing each other and were invited to her home. This was an ordinary household. The male head of the family was a soldier in the army, and there was only one woman. However, it was a bit of a waste for 2 people to live in one household, so there were 2 other women in the house, refugees rescued from the Fire tribe. One of the women had a 4-year-old son and was holding a baby girl who was a few months old. She was fair and chubby, and everyone loved to tease her, making her very likable. Luckily, she was born in the Han tribe, Otherwise, she would probably have been killed as soon as she was born in the fire tribe. The other woman had her first child, a boy who was 8 or 9 months old, wearing only a small bib, and was already able to sit on the Kong and play by himself. The Tiger Tribe warrior entered the small courtyard led by his sister. What caught his eye was a 4-year-old boy with a small bun on his head, wearing a linen vest and shorts, squatting in the yard, teasing a puppy. The child wasn't afraid when he saw the stranger, nor did he greet him, but stood there holding the puppy, looking at him. The Tiger Tribe warrior smiled, curiously glanced at his strange attire, and followed his sister into the house. The middle living room doubled as a kitchen. A fire tribe woman was stoking the fire under the stove, and the aroma of rice wafted from the large iron pot above. A small pile of firewood was neatly stacked beside the stove, and on the other side were 2 large vats with wooden lids, one filled with clear water and the other filled with slightly yellow rice. In the inner room on the east side, another fire tribe woman was taking care of 2 infants under 1 year old. A boy and a girl were playing on the Kong, the older boy constantly babbling, already starting to learn to speak. These children were lucky to have grown up hearing Chinese from birth and wouldn't have to learn it deliberately later. There was no one in his sister's room on the west side. A low square table was placed on the large Kong with a ceramic kettle, white porcelain teacups, and a small oil lamp burning tung oil, emitting a dim light. The wooden lattice window on the south wall was closed, but it was no different from being open. There was no window paper or animal skin to cover it, so you could directly see outside, and the evening breeze could blow into the room. Inside the window was a shuttle loom, 1.5 meters wide, with a roll of unfinished natural-colored linen on it. This strange thing aroused the curiosity of the Tiger Tribe warrior. After his sister's demonstration and explanation, he understood the use of this thing. The woman also said that this thing was invented by you, the leader, which made the man even more astonished. He didn't expect the leader of the Han tribe to be not only good at fighting, but also so talented and versatile, able to create such a divine tool. Similar scenes were happening in other parts of the Han tribe. Some were allowed to visit the lumber mill, watching the huge windmill waving in the wind, with complex wooden gears rotating automatically, controlling a row of saw blades moving up and down, quickly sawing round logs into wooden boards, which was amazing. Others were invited to visit the farm, with sheep, antelope, black-bone chickens, cattle, horses, and alpacas. The 100 Saiga antelopes bought last year, 80 of which were females, also bred their first batch of offspring. Each gave birth to 2 or 3 little antelopes, and the antelope herd grew from 100 to more than 300. You weren't idle either. You gathered the leaders of various tribes and took them to the wall of Hanyang City. They overlooked the tribal scenery from above, which made the leaders of various tribes envy. The leaders of the various tribes followed you onto the city wall. It was getting late, and warriors had already lit torches and stood guard on the city wall, which wasn't usually the case. Today was an exception. More than 20 leaders, some who had come to join the Han tribe, some Snake tribe leaders who had fled here before, and many leaders of the allied tribes. They stepped onto the 7-meter-high city wall with amazement. Although it couldn't compare to ancient city gates, it still amazed them. The square city was divided into a tic-tac-toe grid by 4 main streets arranged in a well shape. Smoke curled up from the city, and thousands of people roamed the streets, visiting various places. The central square was the most lively, with many bonfires lit, and countless people preparing a grand celebratory feast. Looking outside the city to the east of the East Gate were neat paddy fields, separated by a small river in the distance. The dirt road in front of the gate led straight to the wooden bridge, extending into the distance. Under the city gate, the moat water shimmered in the moonlight. The west side was a large grassland, which was a battlefield a few hours ago, but Now it was extremely quiet. Insects chirped in the grass, making it impossible to associate it with the battle that had just taken place. This scene was simply a perfect combination of war and peace. "What do you think of our Han tribe's city, leaders?" you asked after watching them observe for a while. "I've only been to the market a few times before, and I've seen this city from the outside. I didn't understand why Chief Han spent time and effort to build this thing. Only after personally climbing the city wall did I realize that Chief Han has foresight. With these high walls and deep moats, it can indeed block any enemy. Although it's time-consuming and laborious, it can protect the clan's safety for generations." "It's worth it," said the leader of the Horn tribe first. "That's right. When the enemy besieged the city, I was in Hanyang City and climbed the city wall to watch the battle. The giants among the enemies were incredibly strong and jumped amazingly. I was worried that they would jump onto the city, but I didn't expect those monsters to not even be able to reach the shortest crenel, and in the end, they could only fall down unwillingly and be killed on the spot by the warriors on the city wall. Alas, now that I think about it, I regret it. Our snake tribe is so close to Hanyang City. If we had joined the Han tribe earlier and lived in this strong city, we wouldn't have suffered the disaster of extermination. That day, the enemy attacked suddenly, and we didn't even have the ability to resist. Fortunately, our clansmen resisted desperately, allowing most of the women and children to escape. Otherwise, we would have been truly wiped out. These days, I've been living in the city, and I understand the Han tribe better. It turns out that our clansmen who joined the Han tribe all have the same surname as the original tribe, forming their own lineage. Although everyone is from the same tribe, they also retain the lineage of the original tribe, and it doesn't count as disappearing from now on. It's better for everyone to live together. There are more people and more strength, and we can do more things and live in better conditions. Therefore, I have decided that I want to bring the remaining 200-plus clansmen to join the Han tribe, become the Snake Clan of the Han tribe, and let the clansmen live better, at least without having to worry all day long. I hope Chief Han agrees." The Snake tribe leader put his hands on the wall and looked at the pedestrians in the city, saying with emotion, "These words almost moved you to tears. Ha ha. Of course, I welcome you to join the Han tribe. Just like you said, there are more people and more strength. And the more people there are, the more things we can do. I guarantee that under my leadership, I will definitely make the clansmen live better. Now, as the leader of the Han tribe, I formally welcome your joining. You solemnly agreed to the Snake tribe leader's request. Thank you, Chief. From now on, my clansmen will be your clansmen. As long as we can do it, Chief, you can arrange it as you please. Since we have joined the Han tribe, we should also contribute to the Han tribe." The Snake tribe leader hurriedly bowed. This play stunned the leaders of the various tribes. What's going on? Weren't they here to divide the rewards? One suddenly pledged allegiance, and the other accepted it with peace of mind. What does this mean? This plot twist is a bit confusing. Just as they were wondering, you suddenly spoke, scanning these leaders, saying with a serious expression, "Leaders, you have fought side by side with our Han tribe for so many days. Have you noticed anything special about these enemies?" "Anything special? They have a lot of people?" the leader of the Fork tribe said uncertainly. "Exactly. These enemies have a total of 1,200-plus people, all adult males. With so much combat power, even our Han tribe with a population of over 4,000 can't take them down. Think about how powerful this enemy tribe is, and their current range of activity has reached here. It's hard to guarantee that they won't come again in the future. Who knows how many people they have? This time, each tribe has suffered losses, with the Snake tribe suffering the most. They don't even have a home now, and they can only join the Han tribe for shelter. But what if the enemy comes again next time? I don't know which tribe will suffer. This battle was called by me, and I said before that I would give you rewards, and I have already given you some white salt in exchange for prisoners. When you go back, I will also give you some rewards as compensation, but in the future our Han tribe's market may no longer be held. You slowly said the plan that had been brewing for a long time. When the leaders heard that there were still rewards, they were very happy, but when they heard what you said next, they exploded. Chief Han, if you don't hold the market in the future, where will we go to exchange white salt and other daily necessities? That's right, Chief Han, you must not stop the market. Everyone, please be quiet. I just said that the enemy we face is too powerful, and even our Han tribe is now difficult to defeat the enemy alone. Fortunately, we have a strong city to ensure our own safety. But if we hold the market in the future, what if the enemy suddenly attacks? If the enemy rushes into the city at that time, our Han tribe may also suffer. What's more, the clansmen from various tribes who come here to trade will also be unsafe. That's why I decided to stop the market in the future. Hanyang City will also keep a low profile, opening only one city gate every day to ensure the safety of the tribe. Therefore, I may not be able to take care of you in the future. I can only find a way to protect our Han tribe's own clansmen. Originally, they thought it was a generous reward, but it turned out to be the last alms. They took advantage this time, but in the long run, didn't this cut off their retreat? The Tiger Tribe. Leader became anxious. Chief Han, your Han tribe can't defeat the enemy, but we can join forces. Can't we send troops next time? What will we do if you stop the market? You thought, of course, I have a reason. You began to argue. This isn't always possible. What if there are more enemies next time? We are all blocked in the city. How can we call you? And it's not easy for us to make goods. Inviting you to send troops is too expensive. We can't stand it. The Bead tribe leader was frightened. But if the enemy can't do anything to you, they will take it out on us. You spread your hands and said helplessly, then there's nothing I can do. I can only protect my own people first. If you are attacked and willing to give rewards, then we can send troops, and we must also ensure that our Hanyang city is not besieged. The leaders rolled their eyes and frowned. These words were as good as not saying anything. By the time they reported the news, and you came, the tribe would have been cold. No horses, no flying eagles, no city. What would they use to hold out until reinforcements arrived? What to do? Wait for death? Move? Give up the cultivated fields? Give up the homes of their ancestors? Besides, where would they move? That wasn't the enemy. And they would lose the supply of white salt. Looking at these solid city walls, maybe only here is the safest. Thinking about the decision of the Snake Tribe leader and your repeated emphasis on, I can only protect my own people first. Multiple choice question was placed before them. Take a generous reward and fend for themselves, or join the Han tribe, get free supplies, move into the city, become a member of the Han tribe, and enjoy protection. The Snake Tribe leader said that the Han tribe would give each tribe a surname, and the inheritance wouldn't disappear, just change the way. The benefits were huge. Compared to this, the leader of the Fang tribe immediately decided, Chief Han, our Fang tribe doesn't want any rewards. We don't have many people, we can't build a city, and we can't live without the Han tribe's goods. Rather than waiting for death, we might as well join. I see that the clansmen who joined before are living. Very well, and I also want to become the Fang clan of the Han tribe. Be protected and contribute. I will go back tomorrow to pick up my clansmen. Haha, welcome, you agreed directly. The stronger we are, the more we can resist the enemy. I will send people in vehicles tomorrow to help you move, so you can feel at ease sooner. Another tribe joined. The other leaders looked at each other. Hanyang City was only so big, and if they didn't act soon, they wouldn't have a chance. Chief Han, we Zong tribe. Chief Han, we Shu tribe. Chief Han, we Wen tribe. Instantly, 3 leaders stood up and spoke in unison. The 3 were stunned. They didn't expect anyone to be competing with them. This was terrible. Hanyang City was so small, would they not want them? The 3 became even more determined and begged quickly. Ha 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 ha. Thank you, 3 leaders, for valuing us. Since you are willing, I will definitely welcome you. Don't worry, although there are not many vacancies in Hanyang City, I will definitely find a way to arrange it for you. After all, you will be my clansmen in the future, and I will naturally protect them with all my strength. Moreover, to better protect the safety of the Han tribe, I have decided to select another group of elite warriors from the new clansmen to expand the army. Those who are selected will get weapons as powerful as those of the Han tribe warriors. You leaders will also get a unique customized weapon, you said with a hearty laugh. Seeing that 3 more people had made their decision, plus the customized weapons and elite warrior quotas you promised, the leaders couldn't hold back anymore. Chief Han, our tiger tribe, is also willing to join. Can you make me a powerful weapon too? The tiger tribe leader was also a simpleton in his 20s, and he coveted the weapons of the Han tribe soldiers. Not to mention a custom-made weapon, he would be satisfied with just a standard steel dao. The tiger tribe spoke up, and their neighbor, the Horn tribe, also decided, Chief Han, we, the Horn tribe, will also join. The Han tribe can raise so many livestock, which is much better than us, who can only raise saiga antelopes. We will learn from the chief in the future and raise livestock well for the Han tribe. Good, good, good. Welcome, welcome. You will definitely like life in the Han tribe. I guarantee that every clansman will have something they like to do. You said good 3 times in a row, overjoyed. The addition of the Horn tribe was too important. They had several thousand saiga antelopes, which was what you valued most. Of the 20-plus leaders, 7 had already expressed their willingness to join the Han tribe, all of whom were large tribes of about 300 people. The Horn tribe, which raised antelopes, had a population of almost 600. These 7 tribes combined had 2,005 or 600 people, which would definitely take the Han tribe to the next level. Among these 20-plus leaders, only about 17 had a population of around 300. The others were around 100, and 4 were small tribes with less than 100 people who had expressed their willingness to join before the war. Adding these 7, the population increased by nearly 3,000. You were so excited in your heart. Hanyang City already had more than 4,000 people, and with these 3,000, the total population of the Han tribe was finally about to break 5,000 and head towards 10,000. Stabilizing your emotions, you looked at the other leaders again. By stopping the market trade, you had forced them to a dead end. If they didn't join the Han tribe, they wouldn't have white salt to eat, and they would have to go back to their previous lives facing enemies that could appear at any time. So, as long as they weren't stupid, they would choose to join. After all, who doesn't want to live a good life? Even if they didn't agree, their clansmen visiting the city probably wouldn't be willing to leave, right? The remaining leaders looked at those who had just joined, and then at the packed Hanyang City. Their hearts were bitter. Even if they wanted to join now, they probably wouldn't have a place to live. Chief Han, we, the Bead tribe, are also willing to join. The Han tribe! It's just that Hanyang City is so small, and there are already many people living here. Now that so many more people have joined, will there not be enough space to live? The Bead tribe leader looked regretful. Why didn't he speak up earlier? Now, maybe they wouldn't want them anymore. The other leaders also looked at you seriously. Obviously, this was what they wanted to know too. I welcome you to bring your whole tribe to join the Han tribe. As for the problem of not enough space to live, I have already thought about it. Even without you joining, the Han tribe has more than 4,000 people. In another 2 years, Hanyang City may not be able to accommodate everyone, so I have been thinking about opening up a new city. You raised your hand and pointed to the east bank of the small river. Do you still remember the words I asked the warriors to convey before you came? In fact, as early as last winter, I had already asked the clansmen to choose a new place to live. From here, cross the bridge and walk east for 7 days. That is the place I told you before that is suitable for living. There is a lot of flat land, close to the river, with plenty of water, very suitable for us to grow rice. And there is also a large area of shrub grassland, which is also very suitable for raising livestock. At this point, you specifically looked at the leader of the Horn tribe and nodded, meaning to say, bring your thousands of antelopes over and raise them in the new city area in the future. The surrounding environment of Hanyang City is only so big, and the number of livestock that can be raised is limited. You may find it strange why I brought so many warriors outside the city when Hanyang City was besieged this time. Actually, we were in the new city area at that time. The new urban area began construction as early as February this spring. We first sent warriors to set up a camp and clear the surrounding beasts, which has now been almost cleared. Afterwards, we recruited some working population in the surrounding tribes with supplies. Recruiting means that we provide food and exchange their labor for goods for the Han tribe, such as helping us build houses. We give a certain amount of white salt for each day of work, something like that. It is precisely because the construction of the new urban area requires a lot of white salt as a reward that I decided to stop the market here. After all, the production of white salt in our Han tribe is limited and can only be used where it is more needed. At the end of last month, some tribes agreed to help us build a new city, so I went with the warriors to send some supplies and tools, and stayed there for a few days to guide them on how to build a new city. Now that half a month has passed, they should be building the city walls, and it should be almost completed at this time. There are no houses in the new city yet, only an unfinished city wall, but construction will be very fast next. After all, we can use more manpower now. So, you don't have to worry about the problem of not having enough living space at all. In addition, I know that you may not believe it, or you may not want to live so far away and just want to stay in Hanyang City. That's okay too. I will move a batch of residents from Hanyang City to the new city area so the houses vacated can also be used to accommodate you. You slowly told them your plan. Now the leaders of the various tribes were even more surprised. Having one city was enough to surprise them, but they were already building a second one. Immediately, several more tribal leaders made up their minds to join the Han tribe. However, some people still raised new questions. Chief Han, since you said there is a big river there, then our Fork tribe is also willing to join the Han tribe. Our clansmen can all fish, and when we get there, we can also contribute to the tribe's food. It's just that the two settlements of the Han tribe are separated by a 7-day journey. Is this a bit far, and is it inconvenient for people on both sides to contact each other? The leader of the Fork tribe, who lived by fishing, also agreed to join the Han tribe. Hey, this is actually not a problem. These days, you have been following me in battle, and some of you may have noticed that our Han tribe has tamed giant eagles. Nah, those are the big birds over there. These big birds can deliver messages very quickly. They fly very fast, and it takes at most a meal to send a message between the two cities. So, it is very convenient to deliver messages. I also used this method to know that Hanyang City was surrounded on the same day. In addition, I just said that the distance between the two places is 7 days' journey, but that's the speed of walking on foot. You also know that our Han tribe raises horses that can be ridden. Riding horses is very fast. It takes at most a morning to get there from here by riding a horse at the fastest speed. If you change horses in the middle without resting, you can run back and forth before dark. So you don't have to worry about the inconvenience of going back and forth at all. You calmly explained to the Fork tribe leader, also telling the others, hoping that they would understand the Han tribe more and choose to join as soon as possible. So that's how it is. It seems that horses are really good animals, and they even have such uses. Then I have no problem. I am willing to take my clansmen to live in the new city, the Fork tribe leader said happily. We Owl tribe are also willing. We Mushroom tribe are also willing. We Flying Stone tribe are also willing. Chief Han, you just said that the production of white salt in the Han tribe is not enough, so now that we have joined the Han tribe, will there not be enough white salt to eat? Just as several other tribal leaders also decided to join the Han tribe, the leader of the Sickle tribe raised a new question. Hey, of course there is enough to eat. You can rest assured about this," you said with a smile. Now the leaders were immediately puzzled. "You just said that in order to build a new city there was not enough white salt, so you stopped the market trade. Now you suddenly say there is enough to eat. Isn't this a contradiction?" Looking at their suspicious eyes, you explained with a faint smile, "Actually, this is very easy to understand. How do you usually use the white salt that you exchange? You all exchange a lot and save it slowly to eat, and then come back to exchange when you are about to run out, right?" The leaders all nodded. "That's what they did. Then it's easy to understand. You have joined the Han tribe, so the white salt is allocated by the Han tribe itself, and you don't need to save it anymore. Taking out the amount you saved before will ensure that all the clansmen have white salt to eat. Also, you just said that there are more people and more strength. I said before that the production of white salt in the Han tribe was low because there were not enough people in the tribe. Now that there are more people, I can allocate more people to make white salt, so the production will increase, right? That's why I said that the more people there are, the more things we can do, and the more people there are, the better life we'll only get. As long as you follow my arrangements and work hard to complete the tasks I assign, you don't have to worry about the lack of supplies at all." With your explanation, the leaders immediately understood, and at the same time, they admired your leadership ability very much. They really had to admire you for this. Their largest tribe had less than 600 people, and they had to think for a long time about assigning work tasks to the clansmen every day, and sometimes they couldn't arrange them clearly. But looking back at you, you managed a tribe of thousands of people in an orderly manner, and everyone had their own tasks and work, and the tribe was getting better and better. Now that so many tribes have joined and the population has increased so much, it feels like you think it's not enough, and the Han tribe seems to have endless work to do. But this is not bad. They don't need to think about what to do themselves. As long as they honestly complete the tasks assigned by the leader will definitely bring the Han tribe to a stronger and stronger state. The questions that should be asked were basically asked, and after your detailed answers, they understood the situation almost completely. Next, naturally, some people chose to join the Han tribe again. In the end, only 2 or 3 leaders remained, but under the general trend, they no longer insisted and chose to join the Han tribe as well. This made you very happy. In this absorption alone, 17 large tribes with more than 300 people were absorbed, and the total population reached a terrifying 5,700 or 800. Adding those small tribes with less than 100 people who took the initiative to join, the population had reached 6,000, which was more than the current population of the Han tribe itself. Adding the Han tribe's own population of more than 4,000, the Han tribe became a super large tribe with a population of over 10,000 in one fell swoop. This doesn't include the captured slaves. Now the Han tribe has captured more than 1,100 slaves in total. 200 were captured in the Northern Valley before, more than 430 were captured in the ambush a few days ago, and 478 were captured in the decisive battle today. The number of people is large, but for the Han tribe, whose total population has now exceeded 10,000, the ratio of legal citizens to slaves is 10 to 1, which is not too difficult to manage. These slaves cannot turn the world upside down, and the Han tribe has enough strength to suppress them. After getting all these leaders settled, you felt refreshed and led them to eat the celebratory feast with a hearty laugh. In the central square of the city, all the clansmen in the city gathered, and each household also sent the prepared meals. The staple food was rice. There was no whole roasted sheep, which was too extravagant, but there was a dish of mutton and cabbage. The mutton and cabbage, stewed in a large pot with soup, meat, and vegetables, was fatty but not greasy, and was a very suitable pot of rice for dinner, but unfortunately there were no sweet potato noodles. You sat at the table closest to the flagpole. a long table pieced together from several tables with high-ranking officials of the Han tribe and the leaders who had just joined sitting on both sides. The dishes on this table were very rich: mutton and cabbage soup, stir-fried mutton and cabbage, scrambled eggs with chili peppers, scrambled eggs with tomatoes, stir-fried pork with dried beans, fried peanuts, all in bowls. Many of the dishes were made by Xiaodi herself. You personally taught her the skill of stir-frying, which Xiaodi had mastered skillfully and gradually promoted throughout the city. The leaders ate this never-before-seen food and were very fortunate for the decision they made on the city wall just now. Joining the Han tribe was not a loss just for the sake of these delicious foods. They really hoped to be able to eat these every day in the future. During the meal, the leaders also took the initiative to ask about the relocation matters, and you made arrangements for them. In another 7 or 8 days, the rice here in Hanyang City will be ripe. Then it'll be the busy farming season again. I reckon we'll be hustling for a whole month to get the second crop planted. You folks have planted plenty of rice too, only about 2 weeks behind Hanyang City. So around the end of this month, on the day of the Yuanhuan moon, you'll be harvesting your rice as well. That's food, months in the making. Let's get it in before you start moving. Don't waste it. Here in Hanyang City, I'll get ready to receive you early. Clear out some housing. Those who want to stay can stay. Those who don't can move to the new district. Oh, right. The Jianjiao tribe can start moving as soon as they get back. You don't grow rice. You specialize in raising saiga antelopes. This time when you return, I will dispatch a Zhongqi unit to follow you to ensure that you can successfully drive those saiga antelopes over. You said to them, arranging the matters. Yes, Chieftain, I understand. As soon as I get back, I'll start preparing for the move, the Jianjiao tribe chieftain replied with a serious expression. Good. That's excellent. The rest of you tribes can also use this time before the rice ripens to start packing your things, to be ready to come to the Han tribe next month, you announced to them in a loud voice. After a hearty feast, the tribal chiefs and warriors squeezed into the large warehouse for the night. The next morning, you, Luo Chong, and Da Shou waved goodbye as Shu Da led a team to escort the Jianjiao tribe to their new home, and, of course, to safeguard those thousands of saiga antelopes. This was a matter of utmost importance. Back in the day, 100 little lambs turned into over 300 in just a few months. The rate of reproduction was truly amazing. You need to know that they are the main contributors of the Han population explosion. Can't afford mistakes. The other tribes returned to their respective homes to report back after harvesting their rice next month. Shui Tu, leading 3 Zhongqi units, headed to Tuogu Ridge to escort those several hundred girls and 400-plus captives. Afterward, they'd all move to the new city to work as coolies and build the place up. The following day, you sent a message via carrier pigeon to the new city, inquiring about the progress of the Yuye city walls and the clearing of the riverside space, whether they'd be ready for planting rice next month. And of course, you didn't forget to assign a task. Prepare a giant sheep pen big enough to hold thousands of sheep, and if there aren't enough houses, build some sheds. Moving to the new city, food is the top priority. They can't always rely on Hanyang City to provide for them. This side can't take it anymore. So this year, they absolutely have to produce some grain in the new city. Yuye quickly replied, the city walls will be completed in 2 days. There's no city gate, so they'll use cheval de frise for now with people guarding it. Now there are over 300 laborers, and the number is still increasing. Building a street wall will be a breeze. After all, this is just the wall for the inner city marketplace. It can't compare to Hanyang City's. It's a pure rammed earth structure, so the difficulty level has dropped several notches. 3 days later, Hanyang City was gearing up to harvest the rice, and Yu Fu's expedition caravan finally sent news. In his letter, Yu Fu reported that they had accomplished 7 targets, acquiring 280 head of cattle and 450 horses. You had specifically instructed them not to buy sheep, so they didn't get a single one. But they collected a lot of wool. Besides the hides, all the remaining carts were filled with wool, packed so tightly that it weighed more than grain. Yu Fu also said that the nomadic tribes were crazy about the sample wool cloth. And with the iron shears that the Han tribe traded them, they took advantage of the good weather to shear the sheep clean. They wouldn't have been delayed so long if not for the shearing. The price of wool was quite reasonable. 1 jin of salt for 5 sheep's worth of wool, shearing included. This was all according to your expectations. Nomadic peoples use wool to make felt or twist rope, but the demand isn't that great. Felt is used to make tents, but they don't wear clothes in the summer and wear animal hides in the winter, and the number of tents is fixed, so they can't just keep building them, right? Now that they see the Han tribe can turn wool into cloth, of course they're willing to trade. At the end of the letter, Yu Fu asked if you had any further instructions. You thought carefully. Hanyang City has enough livestock, but the new city lacks carts and labor for land reclamation. Plus, Hanyang City is small and can't support so many livestock, so it's better to send them directly to the new city. So you wrote back and told Yu Fu to set up camp at the original settlement of the Li tribe and to send a message via carrier pigeon a day in advance. You would send people to receive the livestock and transport them directly to the new district. As for the wool and hides, haul them back to Hanyang City, as only they can process them there. With all this settled, time flew by to mid-April, and Hanyang City had a bountiful harvest of the first crop of rice. The golden rice stalks covered the fields, a sight that filled people with joy. The tribesmen were full of enthusiasm, overjoyed by the harvest. The production of new grain meant that the Han tribe could continue to develop and grow stronger and wouldn't go hungry. In addition to the 2,000 acres of rice in Hanyang City, there was also the rice planted by the various tribes. Next month, they would come to join the Han tribe with their grain. That would take care of the new district's food supply for the next 6 months. Feeding tens of thousands of people is no joke. It takes several tons of rice a day. Fortunately, Yu Fu had acquired a lot of livestock, which could be used to continue reclaiming land. You plan to complete the migration of all the tribesmen within a month and a half, and to reclaim 3,000 acres of rice fields in the new district within 3 months, to ensure that the new district would be self-sufficient this year and could also stockpile a large amount of fodder for the winter. The Han tribe was harvesting rice with great energy, and in just a few days, the streets and squares of the city were covered with grain. Once it was dried, it could be stored in the granary. The harvest took 8 days, followed immediately by plowing, fertilizing, and sowing the seeds for the second crop. Just then, Shuda also brought back the tribesmen of the Jianjiao tribe. Over 580 people and over 3,000 saiga antelopes. Now you could finally rest assured. With these 3,000 antelopes, it's no exaggeration to say that the Han tribe wouldn't lack meat this winter. The Jianjiao tribe settled in Hanyang City to rest for a while. That evening, you gathered, the elders of Hanyang City, and asked who was willing to move to the new city. The new city currently only has rammed earth walls and nothing else. No houses, no farmland. Going there would mean building houses and reclaiming land, a daunting task. But it's not without its advantages. The civilian houses in the new district have a plot area of 16.6 x 16.6 meters per household, enough to build 5 main rooms, a separate kitchen, and even south-facing rooms and east-west wing rooms, twice as big as those in Hanyang City. So many people were tempted. Who wouldn't want to live in a big house? Especially families with many members. In this way, more than 70 families signed up to move. The Jianjiao tribe were allocated 130 households, and 80 households also wanted to go to the new city. The remaining 50 households would live in the houses vacated in Hanyang City. These moving households came from all walks of life, and their arrival in the new city would enable them to quickly organize everyone to start construction and get the new district on the right track. You took the opportunity to have the carpentry workshop rush to make a set of parts for a windmill-powered automatic sawing machine for them to take to the new city to build a new workshop. In the future, they wouldn't have to transport wood from Hanyang City. They should do what they can themselves. At the same time, they took grain seeds and farm tools to facilitate land reclamation. After they set off with the supplies, you had Shuya, Shuda, and Zhuetu take people to the various tribes to deliver sickles to help them harvest their grain. After all, they couldn't afford many sickles before, and harvesting it themselves would definitely slow down your immigration plan. With one order after another issued, the huge machine that was the Han tribe operated in an orderly manner under your command as chieftain. With the population of the new city increasing and the labor tasks becoming more arduous, it was time to send a chief steward there. You thought about it for a long time and decided to transfer Da Shu, who was mining in Babao Mountain, over there. Da Shu had been with you the longest, you trusted him, and he had the ability to lead thousands of people. When you weren't in Hanyang City before, you always had him serve as temporary chief steward. No sooner said than done. You sent a message via carrier pigeon summoning Da Shu back and had Yu Mao go to Babao Mountain to replace Da Shu. Da Shu returned directly to Hanyang City. After explaining things, you sent him to the new city to be the chief steward. You would replace that fellow Yu Ye too. You had other plans for him. Yu Ye, like his brother, liked to run around. At first he was quite happy when you had him establish a new market. But after a while he realized that this market was different from his brother's. His brother could run around everywhere, but this market of his was fixed in place, and it was becoming increasingly boring. He was just watching other people work and then paying them wages, since the guy wants to run around, then fulfill his wishes. After the cannibals' successive attacks, they even reached your doorstep this time. Although the result was not bad, you were still gripped by a sense of crisis. Therefore, you planned to send an elite squad to the north to scout, find the location of their lair, and see if you could destroy it. It would be best to wipe them all out, but that would be a bit difficult. The biggest goal now is to scout out the enemy's situation. At the same time, this elite squad must not only scout but also draw maps so that you can understand them. It's been almost 2 years, and you haven't had anyone draw a map except for the sketch you saw in Yu Fu's hands. Because the Han tribe has never had the conditions to do so, but now it is possible. Don't think that drawing a map is a simple matter. If you want a map that can be used, it's very difficult. The draftsman must not only understand mathematics and geography, but also know how to use a compass and ruler to make a map. Otherwise, what if you just draw whatever you see? Would that be called a map? Before the Japanese army invaded China, they spent years preparing maps, relying entirely on spies posing as merchants to measure them step by step. The most important tool for drawing maps is a compass. Without this thing, how can you tell directions? Relying on the sun to tell directions can only give you a general idea of the direction. It would be useless for drawing maps. You wouldn't know how far off it is from the actual terrain. Fortunately, the Han tribe now has the materials to make a compass, bronze and magnets, use pure steel to make a diamond-shaped needle, and then rub it with natural magnetite to magnetize it. Then, cast a circular copper plate using a 1-to-1 ratio of copper and tin. Use the copper plate as the base because copper does not generate magnetism, so the magnetic needle will not be affected when placed on it, and the displayed direction will be more accurate. The copper plate is the size of a palm, 9 centimeters in diameter, and has bas-reliefs of east, south, west, north, southeast, northeast, southwest, and northwest, for a total of 8 directions and a circle of 360-degree graduations. There is a small hole in the center where the magnetic needle can be fixed, and a small iron rod can also be inserted to judge the direction by observing the shadow of the small iron rod in the sun when the magnetic needle fails. This feature is very useful. For example, when encountering the magnetite ore near the Salt Lake in the north, the strong magnetic field will cause the magnetic needle to fail. The magnetic needle will be useless at that time, but the sun is not affected by the magnetic field, so looking at the shadow is the safest thing to do. After making the compass, you also had people specially make a beautiful wooden box to hold the compass. You also used the method of observing, the shadow of a vertical wooden stick to find true south and true north, which is the direction of the shortest shadow during the day. By confirming true south and true north, you also use this to find the magnetic declination of your planet. In this way, the compass can be said to be truly usable. Spring, summer, autumn, and winter, as the planet revolves around the sun, the time may change and the shadows may lengthen, but the direction of the shadows is the same in every season. This is the safest. With the compass ready, the next step is to prepare everything else for drawing maps, especially the surveyor's poles, which are essential for drawing maps. Finally, you have to select people for training to learn some simple geography and math basics. The simplest and most practical method for drawing maps is the grid method, which is measured according to a scale. This method is very common in modern times, especially in game maps, where the square thin lines are positioned in this way. You plan to do the same. For example, if the map scale is 1000.1, convert it to 10 centimeters on the map equals 1 kilometer in reality. First, draw horizontal and vertical lines that are 10 centimeters apart on the map. During the actual survey, the surveyors first insert flags on the ground, which are surveyors' poles, to locate the coordinate points. These coordinate points are the intersection points of a grid on the map. After determining one point, the others use a long-distance rope scale and a compass to measure the other 3 coordinate points with horizontal and vertical lines 1 kilometer apart. The area between the 4 surveyors' poles is equivalent to the area of a grid on the map. Then, just copy the terrain inside the grid onto a blank map. After drawing one grid, expand it in all directions and gradually fill the grids on the map. This method is simple, but the disadvantage is that it cannot measure altitude. When encountering high mountains and hills, it is basically useless. But something is better than nothing. Areas with mountains can be left blank and noted. At that time, you can just draw them based on the landform characteristics. After all, the current level of technology is like this, so you can't ask too much. The maps drawn in this way will be very large. If drawn on animal skins, one animal skin cannot draw a very large area. But it doesn't matter. The more detailed the first-line surveyors scout, the better. After they finish drawing, you will summarize them and draw a map with a larger scale, so you can see the whole picture of the land. With the plan in place, all that remains is for the tribesmen to finish, moving and for the tribe to get on the right track. Then, you can send that fellow Yuye out to survey the map, so he won't be idle in the tribe. 2 days later, Dashu returned to Hanyang City. You briefly explained the situation and had him take charge of the affairs of the new district. If he didn't understand anything, he could send a message to you and you would figure it out. Dashu agreed without hesitation, saying that he wanted to bring his women and children over there, and you allowed it. 3 days later, Dashu arrived in the new district, finally replacing that fellow Yuye. This guy rode back to Hanyang City at lightning speed. As soon as he saw you, he started complaining. "Chieftain, you finally let me come back. The new city is too boring. There's nothing there, and I can't go out. I'm watching those laborers work every day. I'm almost stupid. It's better to stay in Hanyang City. There are all kinds of people here. You can let me do anything. Aren't there many jobs over there? If you have nothing to do, why don't you work with them?" You glanced at him and said nonchalantly, "Of course I worked." You looked at him again, without saying anything. "Chieftain, I really wasn't lazy. You have to believe me. It's not that I didn't work, it's just that the people from the surrounding tribes always came to me with things. You had me in charge of recruiting workers for the market. I can't just work and not care, right?" Yuye defended himself. "So, are there a lot of people looking for work?" You asked, walking around the city walls with him. "Heh heh heh." Yuye chuckled lewdly at the mention of this. It wasn't that many at first, maybe 10 or 8 men from each tribe. They weren't confident in us either. They worried that we would cheat them or fail to pay them. They would come to me to get paid for each day of work they completed. As Chieftain said, I gave it all to them. They slept, holding that little bit of white salt every day, afraid of losing it. Then, after they worked for a few days, they became addicted to the food we provided. They said that our rice and vegetables were especially delicious. I cooked the big pot dishes for them as you had taught me. We grew a small vegetable patch over there ourselves, and it grew wonderfully. Sometimes they would bring some wild vegetables over themselves. Chieftain, you wouldn't believe it, but those guys are especially happy when they eat vegetable leaves, saying that we make them taste good. I thought that was normal. Our tribe uses peanut oil when we stir-fries vegetables. Of course, it's fragrant. Then, after about 10 days or so, some people wanted to go back. I even saw some people who hadn't eaten their meal for the day putting it in a big bowl and taking it away with them. I reckon they were taking it back for their women and children to eat. Sure enough, 2 days later, another group of people came, including several women. You had those women help us cook, but they didn't want white salt. They just wanted our rice. I agreed. Then those women took turns going back to their tribes to deliver rice, accumulating it for a few days, and then going back once, delivering 10 jin of rice each time. I asked them why they were doing that, and they said that after our Han tribe moved over, there were fewer wild animals nearby, and the warriors in their tribe couldn't catch any prey. This season also happened to be the lean months, when they could only gather some wild vegetables, and there weren't even any fruits to fill their stomachs. The children in the tribe were hungry every day, so poor that they were about to eat leaves. When I heard them say that, I thought it was a good opportunity to pull in some people. I told them to bring the children in the tribe over, and I would find some easy work for the children to do. There would be no pay, but they would get 3 meals a day. Those who were too young to work would also get fed, but no other supplies would be given. If they wanted to exchange for supplies, the adults would have to work. As a result, they really brought all the children over. Now the older children are herding sheep, and the younger ones are with their mothers, which makes it easier to take care of them. Adults, women, and children are all coming over. Those people see that we keep our word and don't cheat, and some tribes simply moved in completely. There's food every day if they work, and they can save up a little bit of supplies. They also don't have to worry about getting injured while hunting. It's tiring, but it's stable, much better than going hungry sometimes and having enough to eat at others. Several tribes have moved over now. Yuya told you, quite pleased with himself. You've done well. Look at you. You're quite happy when you talk about this. Why don't you want to stay there, or should I send you back? You were very happy to hear what he said. It's best to absorb population in this way. No war. Peaceful absorption of population. Although those tribes aren't considered people of the Han tribe yet, once they get used to the Han tribe's life and build solid houses, you don't believe they'll be willing to go back. Don't! Chieftain, I just can't stay in one place. When my brother comes back, next time you go to the grasslands, can you let me go too? Yuye protested immediately when he heard you were going to send him back. It's enough to have your brother. Lead the team in the grasslands. Isn't it a waste to have both of you go? This kid, Yuye, it seems like he's bored again. Does that mean that Chieftain has another mission for me? It's not another one where I have to stay in one place and can't move, right? Hey. This time's mission is one where you can't stay in one place even if you want to. However, the conditions are a bit harsh and it's a bit dangerous. I'm afraid you won't dare to go. The age-old trick of reverse psychology. Really? Chieftain? I'm not afraid of hardship and I'm not afraid of danger. Let me go. Is it to sell things somewhere else? No, I want you to scout out the situation of the cannibal tribes in the north, and also draw a map. Are you willing to go? Scout out the cannibal tribes. I have no problem with that. I dare to go. But what does drawing a map mean? Oh, this. Kid is quite brave. A map is... You should have seen one before. I remember you and your brother had one before you joined the Han tribe. It was a topographical map of mountains and rivers drawn on animal skin, with the locations of various tribes marked on it. That's the kind of map. Oh, you mean that? But I don't know how to draw it. That map was passed down from the old chieftain. My brother can read it, but he can't draw it either. It doesn't matter if you don't know how to draw it. I do. These days, I'll prepare a small team, not too many people. You'll lead them. We'll study in the tribe for a while. After you've learned enough, I'll let you go. Don't worry, I'll teach you everything. In that case, no problem. I guarantee that I'll complete the mission assigned by the chieftain. I hope you won't disappoint me. I patted him on the shoulder. Don't let me down, kid. In the following days, you quickly selected 11 people from the tribesmen, including Yuye. That made exactly 12, which counts as a small kuai. They began training in mapping skills. This team was the elite of the elite. There was Yuye, a social butterfly, who was good at dealing with unfamiliar tribes. There were also wilderness survival experts, a sharpshooter who could shoot 100 paces, strong warriors, and a cultured person from the Wen tribe who could write and draw. Finally, you specially arranged for 2 warriors from the Ying tribe, plus their Azuka giant eagles, a sea, land, and air reconnaissance team. It was fully equipped. Every morning, they ran and exercised. In the evening, they practiced riding horses. The rest of the time, they crammed the mapping knowledge I taught them. First, I taught them to use a compass to tell directions, then the basics of math, scale conversion, what coordinates are, and how to draw a plane map. In order to make them understand more intuitively, I took them directly to survey the area in person. In a few days, they got to know the surrounding 9 square kilometers with Hanyang City as the center. After that, I made a simple sand table with mud to simulate various terrains. These people learned quickly. When they encountered flat land, they could draw more than 10 square kilometers a day. During this time, the various tribes also harvested their first crop of grain and moved to Hanyang City or the new district. The second crop of rice in Hanyang City was also sown. With the summer planting completed, you sent farm tools to the new district and also transported a batch of cattle and grain. The new tribesmen gradually adapted to their new lives. After all, who would turn down a good life? You also took the opportunity to prepare equipment for Yuye's surveying team. Surveyors' poles were simple, but the focus was on weapons and survival supplies. Outdoor survival knives, which were actually military daggers, as well as long knives, engineer shovels, and, most importantly, weapons, crossbows. The Han tribe currently has archers, but they all use longbows. They're powerful but inconvenient to carry and can't be used for mounted archery. Bad review. In order to make up for these shortcomings, I had the carpentry group develop new bows long ago, and now they're finally done. There are 2 types of new bows. One is a composite recurve bow made of sinew, horn, and wood. The bow is 1.2 meters long, much smaller than a long bow, and its performance is not inferior. This bow uses fir wood for the bow body, with cow horn slices glued to the outer layer and thick cow sinew glued to the inner layer. The elasticity is excellent, mainly to increase the elasticity, and the tension of the bow can be controlled by adjusting the amount of sinew. If you want the bow to have a stronger tension, then glue on more sinew. If you want to reduce its tension, then put on less sinew. In addition to the recurve composite bow, there is also a composite straight draw bow. It also uses fir wood for the body, with a layer of thick sinew glued to the inner side to double the tension. A composite straight draw bow that does not glue cow horn is an important part of the crossbow. The bow arms are made of oak, and a composite straight draw bow is installed at the top. There is also an iron D-ring in the front for stepping on, which makes it easier to string. Most importantly, there is a buttstock shape behind the bow arms, which I specially designed. The purpose is to standardize the bow-holding posture and ensure shooting accuracy. After all, I'm familiar with this stuff. 5 recurve bows and 4 crossbows were all prototypes. The composite bows take a long time to make, with the shortest taking a year. The body is made in winter, the horn is broken in spring, The sinew is copied in summer, and it can only be glued in autumn, not counting the correction time. Fortunately, the Han tribe has plenty of materials. Purple fir, white ash, and white oak are suitable for making bow bodies. The grassland trade ensures that there are plenty of cow horns and sinew, and fish bladders can never be used up. As long as the experiment is finalized, they can be mass-produced. This time, you equipped the mapping team with experimental products and also wanted them to test them in actual combat. If they are easy to use, the new weapons can be finalized directly. Time passed very quickly. After more than half a month, the map surveying team completed their training. You nodded, and that fellow Yo-Ye couldn't wait to take people away. 12 people, 2 horses each, 1 for riding and 1 for carrying daily necessities, spears, recurve composite bows, crossbows, and 100 arrows. Anyway, the horses were carrying them, so they weren't afraid of not being able to carry them. Day or two later, Hanyang City began to plant rice seedlings. You saw that there was nothing to do here. So you took people to the new district to see how the new tribesmen were settled and how the work was progressing. You rode the elephant and ran all the way at lightning speed, arriving at the new district, in the east, in one day. When you arrived, it was already evening, and the tribesmen were finishing their work for the day and preparing to eat their favorite dinner. On the vast plain, a small, not very tall, rammed earth city stood on the banks of the river. Hundreds of adolescent children were using tree branches to hit the antelopes on the butt, driving them into the city. Some of them were holding lambs and chasing the herd of more than 3,000 sheep. When they saw you riding the elephant, they all looked sideways. They had never seen that tusked monster before. But looking at your attire, they guessed that you were from the Han tribe, and your status must be high after all. You were sitting so high. Wow, that horse is so big, oh, a naked child exclaimed in surprise. That's not a horse. Haven't you seen the long nose? What is it? Oh, is it a cow? Cows have horns. This one doesn't have horns. Then I'll ask my mom later. She definitely knows a... Oh, yeah. Let's go back quickly. I want to eat a big bowl of rice today. I want to eat too. When I grow up, I want to be a warrior too and wear that armor. The children chirped and drove the sheep back. You were getting closer and closer to the small city. Many people who had seen you greeted you, and the news that the chieftain was here spread quickly. Dashu, who was sitting and supervising, hurried over to greet you. Chieftain, why are you here? You didn't say anything in advance, so I could send someone to pick you up. Dashu ran up to you and said, Why pick me up? There's no danger on this road. Let the tribesmen do some more serious things. How much of the paddy fields that I had you reclaim have you reclaimed? Are you confident that you can plant another crop of grain this year? You jumped off the elephant and asked, We've reclaimed a lot already. I had the 900 slaves that you transferred over dig the river. This time, in order to finish as soon as possible, we didn't dig too deep. Only 2 meters wide and 2 meters deep, just enough to divert water. The dug-up soil is piled up. We were originally going to build a kiln to fire bricks, but in order to plant the grain as soon as possible, we didn't do it. Now most of the tribesmen are farming, and all the cattle and horses that can be used are being used. If that's not enough, people are pulling plows. We've currently reclaimed 600 acres, and we'll definitely be able to complete the 3,000-acre goal within a month. Dashu led you to the farmland as he introduced the progress. You've done well. You don't have to wait until all the land is plowed to sow the seeds. Plant as much as you plow, divide it into batches of 500 acres and complete it in 6 batches. The sooner you plant, the sooner you can rest assured, you said, looking at the plowed open space. Yes, Chieftain, I understand. I'll arrange for people to plant a batch first tomorrow. Dashu nodded quickly. By the way, why didn't I see the vegetable garden? With so many people, growing vegetables can't be delayed. The consumption is high. You looked around, but couldn't find the vegetable garden. Oh, the vegetable garden is on the north side of the city. We've reclaimed some land to grow cabbage. It's not enough now, and I'm having people continue to reclaim it. The most we're planting now is cowpea and loofah, which climb on frames. You can plant them by digging a pit. It's easy and they grow quickly and produce a lot. I estimate that we'll be able to make up for the supply soon. Da Shu said, pointing to the north side of the small city. That's good. How are the newly joined tribesmen adapting? Have you had people keep an eye on them and see what they're saying in private? Also, what are the tribes that come to work in exchange for food saying when they see so many people? Coming? You asked, looking at the crowd heading into the city and waiting to eat. The new tribesmen are doing okay. Some people are complaining that they don't have houses to live in and can only sleep in grass sheds. However, they really like the mats we brought last time. It's hot, so it's okay to sleep outside. Also, they're very happy with our city walls. Joining the Han tribe means being afraid of enemy attacks. Now they can set up beds inside the city walls, which is also good. Anyway, the houses will be built in the future, so there's no need to rush. In addition, everyone is working very hard to reclaim the fields. They've grown grain before, so they know that grain is precious and no one is lazy. And they're all using our metal farm tools, and cattle and horses are helping, which is much better than using their original bone and stone tools. Everyone is looking forward to growing more grain so that life can get better. Da Shu said with emotion, looking at the large expanse of farmland, and then introduced the labor situation. There are even more laborers coming to work. When the Jianjiao tribe first came, they brought thousands of sheep, which shocked them and made them very envious. After all, that's all meat and animal hides. Seeing that our tribe is rich and that we need people to herd sheep, some tribes have moved in completely. Now, many of the children herding sheep are only a few days old.